Philip Kennedy Johnson, Becky Cloonan, Michael W. Conrad, Daniel Samper, and Michael Avon Deming begin a new Warworld-focused storyline as Superman deals with the ramifications of his radiation poisoning as Warworld's ships descend on Earth, and Midnighter sets his sights on the present-day Andre Trojan as the man comes one step closer to transcending to godhood. Philip Kennedy Johnson begins the huge Warworld-centric storyline that looks to dictate a lot of the upcoming Superman titles, and he does so in a fantastic way, tackling Superman's life-changing alterations thanks to the radiation that is very slowly killing him and the immense pressure that puts onto his son, who gets a great moment to talk with his old friend Damian about what's happening. I do like that Damian comes to the same conclusion that the recent Future State books that Superboy was a part of came to, is that John doesn't actually get a say in if he will be Superman. He absolutely will be, and he needs to be ready since it's coming for him. I enjoyed Johnson's Lois Lane here as well, again making her a tough-as-nails woman who's continuing her job and again writing another book like she did in Bendis's arcs, and as she puts it, doesn't need to worry about Clark and the possibility of death since he's beat death before and he's Superman. He can do anything. It's this great hope that everything will be okay that the character of Superman instills in the people around him, and it's shown wonderfully throughout this issue. Michael W. Conrad and Becky Cloonan meanwhile forward up their Midnighter storyline a little bit and reiterate what Trojan's plans were, with the villain wanting to transcend beyond humanity, and of course this time-traveling hero Midnighter knows what that means for the future, hence why he's trying to stop him before it happens, and as he puts it, trying to kill baby Hitler before he becomes Hitler. A lot of Andre's story in this issue was really unsettling, especially the pages near the end with the creepy failed monster man he made. It was something really uncomfortable and gross, and Trojan's just complete disregard of it made it even worse and solidified him as just a total villain piece of shit for me. I enjoyed we also got some personal drama from Midnighter as well, thanks to his strained relationship with Apollo, which is suffering thanks to his mission and thanks to him not actually being the one from this time period since he's from the future and he's back in his old body. So it's weird for him and it's weird for Apollo since Apollo doesn't know what's happening. It's great drama since he can't obviously tell him thanks to paradoxes and time displacement sort of stuff. It's something I look forward to being expanded on in future installments of this story, as well as the upcoming Superman and the Authority book. Daniel Samper joins the book as artist on the Superman story, and boy was his artwork next level. Everything he drew was literally perfect, and for a first issue drawing Superman, I love that we got a good smattering of both action and slower dramatic scenes for him to play around with these characters with. Michael Avon Deming continued his Midnighter work here and got even weirder than he has in the past, adding in some pretty awesome 60s spy stylings and pages that reminded me of the 60s show The Prisoner. The creepy monster thing at the end was such a damn good design, because every time it was on the page I was unnerved just looking at it, and just the thought that it was once a human being is just creepy in on itself. Action Comics issue 1030 was a great beginning to the expansive Warworld arc that looks to kick off a number of the upcoming Superman titles. Philip Kennedy Johnson skillfully continues plots over from previous issues and wove them into his new and exciting storyline, which looks to be living up to the title of the comic series very well. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Action Comics issue 1030 finds the Chainsmen of the Hordes of Warworld offer their iron and services to Mongul, Master of Warworld. The legless Chiatel says that many have served Mongul and many have come to swear fealty to him, but all of them were traitors who sang the same song, so why should Mongul trust these people when he couldn't trust others? The Chainsmen say that only Mongul's boot is the one upon their neck and Mongul's hand holds their chains. Chiatel is pleased, demanding they cry fealty to Mongul, as a voice says that they shouldn't bother, as the hooded man steps out from the shadows, saying that in this Mongul, the people only see a willful child who killed his father. Chiatel is enraged at the person disturbing their meeting, so the being reveals that they just came to give a gift. He tips out a bag of heads, saying that he offers up the heads of all of Mongul's sons. Mongul's court calls him a traitor, demanding they flay the stranger, but the master quiets them, saying that this is a worthy gift, knowing no one can usurp him like the other Mongols before him now. Mongul knows that this this was said to be the first gift, wondering what the others the man has. So the hooded being says that he doesn't possess the other gifts just yet, but Mongul will help him claim it since Warworld isn't what he thinks, and its secrets run deep, and the key to mastering them is from one who lives far away. On Earth, Superman speeds across the ocean, taking down a few Seeker drones before confronting more robots, told where they are thanks to Batman, who wants him to pick up the speed. Clark thinks that he's nervous, but Batman says he isn't, something Clark is happy to hear. Batman says that Clark is running out of time, so Superman says he's just finishing up, battling a giant mech, smashing it to pieces with a single punch. Batman records the time, telling the hero to come back home, so the hero heads back to the Batcave, where Ray Palmer asks Clark how he felt and if he was giving it his all. Clark says he was, asking about the numbers, but Batman isn't happy with them, since Superman's energy output is increased, but the speed and levels of force he was using were diminishing slightly due to some cellular decay happening. Ray thinks the powers are just fluctuating with ordinary solar cycles, but Batman disagrees, since the decay is constant with radiation poisoning, something Bruce thinks he obtained while closing the breach from the alien invaders just a few weeks ago. Ray thinks it's premature to be concerned about this, since even with the decay, his powers are going through the roof, and it's not the will and testament situation yet, something Batman doesn't agree with. Superman knows it's fine, reminding them this information remains between them, and he can't afford to lose a little steam, since he feels fine and he's still doing the job. But if someone like Luthor or Darkseid or someone else found out, it could be bad. He asks about John's progress as well, learning from Batman he's getting stronger and potentially will be stronger than Clark or Kara. He thinks Clark should talk to John about the League, just in case something was to happen to him, since the world will always need a Superman. Elsewhere, John catches up with Damian, who tells him that he's eating the food they share wrong. John asks why Damian is in this part of the world anyway, wondering if everything is fine with him and his father. Damian says that it's complicated and he doesn't want to get into it, but John knows complicated as things with his father are complicated at the moment as well, and he's worried about his father. Damian wants to know why, so John talks about how in the future so much is known about their fathers and every bad guy they ever fought or adventure they went on, and the whole idea of the Legion is based on them, but any day now the stories about his father just stop. Damian knows that could mean he dies, but John isn't sure what it could be, but knows what else could it be. He tells Robin about the breach they dealt with a few weeks ago, but he knows that in the future, the breach was the last documented event Superman was a part of, and after there's conflicting news, with reports of Superman being killed in the breach, or one about an alien armada attacking Atlantis, or a professor theorizing that Cersei banished Superman to another dimension. John, however, says there is one he keeps thinking of, one where Superman was burned or poisoned in a fight, and right before he died, a ship of Kryptonians came to take him home. John says that he knows how it sounds, but it sounded like the truest of them all. But he's not ready to lose his father now, since he can't be Superman. Damian says that's not up to him, and it's not up to his father. Damian explains that he doesn't want Superman to die either, and he's sorry John feels messed up from this, but unlike Superman, John was literally born to do this, and he will fill his father's shoes someday, and no one can stop it, not even him. After a moment of sharing the sunset, John asks Damian if he wants to talk about his own father's problems, since he totally can. In Kandor, Lois Lane marvels at the wonders of the city, knowing instead of searching for resources or technology and wars, the people of Krypton's cultures came together in a marriage of arts and sciences, and everyone became artists in their own right. Clark soon comes to join his wife, who tells him this place is unbelievable and she should have started writing her book years ago. Clark knows that he should have brought her there when the Kryptonians still lived in Kandor, but now they are all gone, and he feels drawn there now. Clark hugs his wife, who asks how his thing went, knowing Bruce wouldn't like the numbers. Clark says that Bruce thinks that John should maybe replace him, and he's considering it, but Lois doesn't seem worried. Lois says she isn't worried about him, but if she knew he would actually die, she would never be okay with it. But they have been there so many times, and even actual death didn't kill Superman before, so whatever happens with his powers, he will beat this like always, since that's the one constant in the universe. Clark and Lois are taken out of Kandor from an alert by Kellex, who says a group of armed ships is approaching Earth above the North Atlantic Ocean. Kellex confirms that he definitely meant many vessels as the giant boat-like spaceship and its smaller fighters breach the atmosphere. Superman races towards it, telling Kellex to alert the League and fill them in. He calls for John, Kara or Connor and whoever hears them to come and help. His son suddenly appears next to him in an instant, told to slow the lead ship while he disarms the gunships around it. John wonders who they are and Clark knows that these ships are from Warworld and have been sent by Mongul. John thinks that he would get sick of getting his ass kicked, prompted to watch his language by his father as Superman notices the missiles from the gunships aren't being fired at him, they're being shot at the larger ship. Not able to see through the ship's hull, he uses his super hearing to hear the whispers of the crew, hearing a phrase which shocks him since he's never heard those words spoken before, but he has seen them written down, knowing that they are an ancient prayer. Ripping open the ship's hull, Superman knows that the prayer was a dead Kryptonian language as he is confronted by a sword-wielding Kryptonian prisoner. Elsewhere, Midnighter watches Andrei Trojan's Tread talks about transcending out of their currently out-of-date operating system, talking about how his mother was killed by cancer, betrayed by her own body, and on that day he made a commitment to dedicate his life to end the suffering of everyone. He knows the answer was inside them all along, and they just need to master the mind and body. He knows that all they need to do is update themselves with technology and robotics, like the neural implant he's gotten. The future Trojan talks with Midnighter in his head, saying that Lucas is just like him. Midnighter tells him to shut up as Trojan says that even after more upgrades and meditative practice, he has never been better. The future Trojan says that his implant helped him master the stock markets and make billions of dollars, knowing that it's a step beyond Midnighter's own supercomputer. Apollo soon comes to see Midnighter, wondering if he wants to talk about it all, or would he rather run off and join Trojan's cult. Apollo notices all of Midnighter's beer bottles, knowing that it's an avoidance thing and he's been like a ghost around the home. Lucas apologizes, saying that he's been working on something but he's almost done now. Apollo understands, not wanting to force his way into this, but Midnighter needs to be clear with him. Lucas says that he will be and they will be okay, kissing his husband as the future Trojan says that Apollo prefers kissing the older, wiser Lucas from the future. Getting to work, Trojan asks Lucas how many times he and the future Midnighter have switched places, but the man doesn't know, looking around the workshop, knowing that it's been happening for a while, but when it happens, it always feels like the first time. Trojan says that time is an interesting force, never thinking of using it beyond building the Chrysalis Collider to age his Nerodium at ultra speeds, but he had concerns about a paradox, like the one they are in right now. Trojan knows that his form will survive in one way or another, but wonders if Midnighter will, and if his young self dies on Warworld, will he still be alive? Lucas retrieves his sniper rifle, wanting to go and test the old kill baby Hitler theory on Trojan. At Trojan Solutions, Andre brainwashes some new members to his organization, telling them all to transcend, as down in the labs, the real Trojan knows that this is a giant stride forward, but the scientists say that their patient is in terrible agony thanks to the phantom pain it thinks it feels. He is shown the disgusting robot-human hybrid creature they created, knowing thanks to the pain it feels, it wasn't prepared fully for transcendence. The villain equates this being's grotesque sacrifice to the building of the Great Wall of China and how the Emperor at the time didn't require apologies, he wanted results, but he still knows that they are very close, hoping to reach full transcendence in under a decade. He asks the subject's name, learning that it was Subject 5151, calling it a glorious foundation, wanting the scientist to scrap and recycle it, and he will return later to see the others, but for now he must leave to entertain their new guest, since they might escape on him. Midnighter meanwhile arrives on a nearby rooftop, sniper in hand, upset that the villain doesn't have a secret base since Trojan obviously didn't realize he was a villain. Future Trojan says that history will say he's been anything but a villain, as Midnighter knows that he means the future where everyone is a bloodthirsty Roomba. He begins reconning the building, setting up his rifle, knowing that if he plays this right, Andre Trojan will be solely remembered as a billionaire with big dreams, snuffed out in his prime.